I've gotten a little bit bored of everything that is happening in Formula 1, although it's quite exciting, and it has been the most exciting thing that we've had for like the last 3 years. Now this is what the entire population wants to see. And even the polar bears, I guarantee you they want to see this as well. It's still a bit boring, so I think it's time to spice things up and create a tier list of drivers, because that's, well, the best thing to do at this point in time, where what else is there to do? You're waiting for a race, that's all you're doing. Tier list time. For your information, there are 5 tiers. There's yes, for the drivers who are like, yes. Cold night in Stoke, well, you can perform on a cold night in Stoke. Put in a shift, you can put in a decent shift. Just why are you still doing this? And then end it all. Like, not your life, but like, end your Formula 1 career. I would highly recommend you not bitching, not crying if something isn't to your liking. Just put it down in the comments, make your own tier list. Whilst you're there, subscribe and like. Don't know why you wouldn't. Just do it now. I see your finger hovering over it. You're probably waiting for me to say something. Do it, please. Anyways, after that guy decided to stop begging like his life depended on it, I think it's time we actually get going. On to some real business. Oh, George Russell, isn't this a fabulous way to kickstart off the tier list? George Russell, he's a good driver, right? Yeah, 100%, he's a good driver. That is after the Austrian Grand Prix. Before the Austrian Grand Prix, okay, well, it might be a new day. Don't worry about that. I'm recording this on like another day because the audio got corrupted. Boo-hoo-hoo, big deal. That doesn't stop me though. No. Anyway, where was I? George Russell, he is, well, before the Austrian Grand Prix, I would have easily put him in a category a bit lower because, oh, he's won a race. Well done, congratulations. Pastor Maldonado's won a race. Do you want to be compared to Pastor Maldonado? Where is he now? I don't even know, but his reputation on track was, well, it wasn't good. Well, that's Maldonado for you. For the longest time, George Russell couldn't perform in conditions where, oh, you can win a race. This is actually your opportunity to win. Don't fluke, don't fluff it up. You'll be fine. Singapore comes to mind. Oh dear, Singapore was a big one. But I feel like after the Austrian Grand Prix, George Russell has shown to everybody that he can perform when this car isn't good. He has shown the world that he's back to being the Mr. Consistency that he once was. And for that reason, I think that he can perform on a cold night in Stoke. And that's where I'm going to put him. Because in Austria, his car wasn't the greatest. Lewis Hamilton, where did he finish? But George Russell, he performed. And he won a race because he performed. Might have been a tad lucky, like a big factor of that was Lando and Verstappen having their little moment. But still, well done, George Russell. You have finally learned to perform in conditions where there's pressure. Now, if we look at this from a pretty plain point of view angle, Mick Schumacher was in Ferrari, a Ferrari reserve junior driver. Carlos Sainz, a Ferrari driver. Pretty much the same thing, right? Mick Schumacher, currently jobless. Sainz, currently jobless. They're on the same level. They are the exact... Okay, that might have been a tiny bit of an exaggeration, but Carlos Sainz, he can perform well. In Australia, performed well when Verstappen's car decided to blow up. Performing... Ooh. Cold night in Stoke. That was a cold night in Stoke, which he managed to perform in. He wasn't meant to win that race. Verstappen was like dominating like he always did. But a little blow up over the engine meant that Carlos Sainz could actually capitalize and show the world that, hey, I'm being dropped, but for what reason? I'm winning races, and what? Charles Leclerc can't do that. But Carlos Sainz has slowly plateaued down and down like he does every single season. And he's gone back to being where he always is, slightly behind Charles Leclerc, and I can't even fathom to put him above George Russell. So for that sole reason, well, he can put a shift in, but he not only can put a shift in, he can perform on a cold night in Stoke, where other drivers would bin it, or not make it, or, well, spin out. Carlos Sainz has got that tad bit of consistency, but it isn't what George Russell has, or he isn't even close to George. I mean, do you think that Carlos Sainz would be able to beat Lewis Hamilton? I don't think so. Every driver in Formula 1 has a contract and it expires on a certain date. 2026, 25, 24, so on and so forth. But in the, where it says when the contract ends, Lance Stroll just simply says 4, like the number 4, and then ERRRRM, forever. That's just all it says. And for a driver that has been in the sport longer than Charles Leclerc, longer than George Russell, longer than Lando, longer than... He's been in the sport for a long, long, long while. Surely, you should be good, right? Lando Norris, a race winner. Charles Leclerc, race winner. George Russell, race winner. Lance Stroll, yes. He should be a race winner on paper, right? Yeah. Surely in those years, throughout all of the teammates that he's had, throughout all of the drivers' sessions, races he's been in, he must have picked up 1 or 2 things, learned something. But no, he races like a rookie. He races just like Logan Sargent. If you put an onboard of both of them driving side by side, I would see no difference, because there is no difference. And if you've been in the sport for that long and you're only in the sport because your dad owns the team, just why? Just why are you still driving? You're not doing, and you're just taking up a seat, and that's kind of sad. Why are you still here? I think I'd rather see some rookie bin it than you, because a rookie bidding it, that's like kind of entertaining. Was rookie, haha, oh rookie, he's gonna get to grips. But you just bin it because you're the sake of binning it. And I'm not denying that Lance Stroll can have like 1 good race per season, which means that he sometimes on occasions can put a shift in. But that's nowhere near enough to move him up to that category. So for that sole reason, just why? Just why? Kevin Magnussen literally peaked in his first ever race in Formula 1, getting a podium. And Lewis Hamilton, he got a podium in his first ever race. Am I saying that Magnussen was on a similar trajectory to Lewis Hamilton, both scoring podiums in their first ever race, both in a McLaren in their first ever race? Surely that means that Magnussen by now should be a 5, 6, 7-time world champion? Well, in his entire career, he has 1 podium, 1 pole position, and that is literally it. His trophy cabinet is somehow equaling the the blankness, the empty spaceness of like Tottenham Hotspur or something. It's got nothing in there. I don't think that pole position from 2022 is going to save him any longer, and it's just not been the greatest. Being slapped up by Nico Hulkenberg. You've been booted out of Formula 1 already, and you've come back and you were all right, but now you're washed again. So I think it's time you depart. Just why? You're not putting any work in, except for damaging other people's races, damaging your own car, damaging other people's car, and damaging the Haas reputation. And, well, you're pretty high up in the Destructors Championship, but that's literally all you're doing. Just why? Just why? Just why? Now, some of you guys might be a bit psychopathic. You might be thinking that Yuki Tsunoda this season has been the best driver on the entire grid. Yuki Tsunoda! Yes! Yes, it's Yuki! No, I'm sorry. Number 1, please stop simping up to him. And number 2, he's not been, well, a Max Verstappen. He's not been a Lando Norris. He's not been a George Russell. But what he has been is been good. And I think he can put a shift in. When the team needs him the most, he can deliver. And at the moment, the team dearly needs him because Daniel Ricciardo is doing absolutely niche. So, Yuki Tsunoda, I'm going to be generous, I'm going to be kind, and I'm going to put you in Cold Night and Psych. Put a shift in. You can put a shift in. But I'm sorry, if you think that Yuki Tsunoda is similar pace to George Russell, to Carlos Sainz, your brain wires are miswired, and the doctors might be having to doctor soon. I mean, Lewis Hamilton has achieved so much in his career, but over the last couple of seasons, he hasn't won a race where George Russell has won 2. He hasn't really done all that. It's just he's been idle in the car, doing absolutely nothing. A driver by his standards, a driver by his career, his accomplishments, surely he should be good, right? He should be better than George Russell. Who is George Russell compared to 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, right? Yeah, well, he hasn't been all that, and for that sole and sorry reason, he's also going to be put into a cold night in Stoke. He can put a shift in, but it hasn't been the same as George Russell. I'm going to put him higher than Carlos Sainz, because Carlos Sainz is jobless. And jobless by the man who's taken his seat. And surely that means something good, right? I don't know. Well, do I have to argue my case? Do I even talk? What is the point of me talking? I don't need to talk for Max Verstappen, do I? Do I? Is there some psychopaths who think that he isn't the yes category? He's saying yes after every race because he's finishing first. Maybe a single yes at the moment because it's gotten a bit boring from the amount of times that he's finishing first. But still, he's the reigning world champion. He's leading the championship. He's leading the constructors. He's doing all that on his own because Sergio Perez is doing nothing. My case has been stated. Now, to say that Oscar Piastri's Formula 1 season this year has been slightly disappointing, that is, he's been getting very unlucky, but it's Oscar Piastri, and he's still getting P2s upon P2s. Well, so is Lando Norris. But Oscar Piastri's in his second year in Formula 1. So surely he's doing something right? I mean, look at Logan Sargent in his second year in Formula 1, and what is he doing? Getting dropped. Look at Nick de Vries. He got dropped. Look at Nikita Mazepin. Look at Mick Schumacher. They got dropped. And, wow, Oscar Piastri. He must be doing a thing, and doing a thing correctly. The car got the flu. Oh, wrong one. I think that Oscar Piastri can put a shift in the cold night in Stoke. I don't think he's better than Carlos Sainz at the moment, but I think he's still good. Composure. Charles Leclerc, over the last couple of years, when it's been getting a little tight, he's made a lot of mistakes. But this year, it hasn't been that case. Charles Leclerc has nearly been faultless in his own mistakes, and it's just been Ferrari who's been making mistakes, just like Ferrari always does. A season isn't a complete season without Ferrari being Ferrari, and for that sole and little reason of Charles Leclerc making zero mistakes and winning races where it need be and scoring podiums when the car is actually podiuming, I think that Charles Leclerc can do bits on a cold night in Stoke. I don't think that he'll be absolutely treacherous. Well, it's Charles Leclerc at the end of the day. And I'll stand by it. He's better than George Russell this year. Better than Hamilton. Better than Sainz. Better than Piastri. So, yeah. I guess Birdie can move up to the top of the thing. Well done, Charles Leclerc. Congratulations. Max Verstappen is still ahead of you, so... Pierre Gasly! Extremely sorry for that. My brain must have malfunctioned slightly. But Pierre Gasly, he's been good this season. He's been cooking. He's been properly cooking Esteban Ocon. And definitely cooking him whilst he was in the air. So... The shifts have been put in. There's no doubt about it that the shifts will be put in. He's scoring points in a car that, let's be real, doesn't deserve to be scoring points at the moment. But he's doing it in style. Even when he crashes with his teammate, he still secures the bag. And you know what? He's securing the put in the shift bag. And, I'm sorry. He's going ahead of Yuki. I think he really helped develop that car. And I think he's just doing better. I think that if Daniel Ricciardo was doing as good as Yuki, there wouldn't be many looks at, oh my god, Yuki, you're doing so well. But Gasly's just Gasly and he's just solid, right? You see, this is where the controversy might start brewing up, Lando Norris. Of course. Wow, you've won a race this season. You're battling Max Verstappen. You're doing amazing this season. But scoring P2 in the fastest car every single race, is that really all of that? You're going to be questioning, is he really up for the challenge? Is he really up for the championship? Charles Leclerc, he was definitely up for the championship in 2022. They were hard racing. They were doing fine. Nothing was... It was good. But Lando Norris, he can't do that at the moment. Finishing P2 isn't an accomplishment anymore. Okay, you finished P2, but Max Verstappen is gaining on you every single race. You're not as good as him. And for that sole reason, I don't think Lando Norris can be even compared to the glorious Max Verstappen. I don't think he's on the same caliber as him. And if you try and argue that, I won't listen, because at the moment, he's just not. This is exactly what I've been waiting for my entire life, to rank Sergio Perez into a tier list. And the tier list, well, I might have to create a category below and detour, which is go back into Formula 2 and learn your ways again in a race car, because clearly in a Formula 1 car, you can't operate that to save your life. You enter it, oh, there's so many buttons. Is this a NASA rocket ship? Your car might be a rocket ship, but you're steering it like a toddler has just been placed into it. You're crashing out. You're doing nothing the entire race. And I'm sorry, if your teammate is 1 second faster than you in quali, and then a minute faster than you in races, you're going to have to end. I'm sorry, I'm ending your whole career like that. Boom, bam, bada, bam, boom, pow. Over. Now, I might rate Alex Albon extremely highly in my mind because last year he was cooking, and, well, there's a certain soft spot for Alex Albon and my will to make him or want him to do good in the sport after his teething troubles in that Red Bull, where the barrier was found more times than Logan Sargent found the barrier in 2023. But I would very much love to put Alex Albon in, could put in a good shift on a cold night in. But that's pretty hard to do because this season he has been crashing out a tad bit. Actually, a pretty equal amount to Logan Sargent. And for that sole reason, well, he just has to go and put in the shift in. He's going in the bottom of putting the shift in because Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda have been doing better. Now, at face value, you could say that Esteban Ocon has been cooking as much as Pierre Gasly. But then you delve deep into his season and it hasn't been the greatest. He's been dropped. Now, he has been flying, but no, he hasn't been flying like Mark Webber. He hasn't been flying like the Red Bulls of Max Verstappen. He's been flying because he's crashed with his teammate. So, it's just, his points might be alright. But him, like, surely, over the years, you've learnt your lesson with Max Verstappen, with Sergio Perez, with Pierre Gasly, with Alonso. Surely you should have learnt your lesson that don't fuck around with your teammates, otherwise you'll find out. Or you'll find the wall. And this time, not only has he found the wall, he's also found the banhammer from Alpine. They are banishing from the land, and Alpine are better off without him. And for that reason, I just got to put him in just why. At the top of move, Lance, you're creating a road blockage like you always do. He's just why? Just why do you still do these things? And just why are you like this? Low-key, the entire season, Nico Hülkenberg has been cooking up a 5-star meal that could be served in Nobu, and all the food critics would be like, oh my god, look at this sensational tasting food. That's, well, what Nico Hülkenberg has been doing this season. And honestly, props have to be given where props are due, because, well, he's actually been cooking. I'm just going to instantly put in a shift in above Gasly, above Yuki, above Albon, because he's been better than all of them. In a Haas, getting P6 in Austria. We can finally say that the Haas's are battling the Red Bulls. Agreed, it's not at the top of the field or with Max Verstappen. It's Nico Hülkenberg and Sergio Perez for P6, 7, and 8. The Haas's are fighting the Red Bulls. Hello? Are you comprehending this? Now, you gotta respect your world champions, because at the end of the day, they're world champions. Verstappen, world champion, he's in, yes, you're doing fantastic. Lewis Hamilton, world champion, and he puts in a good shift on a cold night in Stoke. Alonso, he hasn't really been putting a shift in the entire season, or for like the latter half of last season. And he's been giving up on Alpine just like he's given up on every single other team that he's ever been a part of. And him being at his ripe age of 134, what's the point of being in Formula 1 anymore? If you think that Aston Martin are going to deliver you with a championship-worthy car, whilst Lance Stroll is still in that team, you got a bit loopy. Your brainwaves have stopped signaling, and it's time to hang up your gloves for real. And for that reason, I have to put him at the top of just why. Just why are you still in the sport? What are you still doing here? It's just damage limitations now. You're not going to have fun in that team, finishing P18 every race, battling Zhou Guanyu. No. I've been waiting my entire life for this yet again. Daniel Ricciardo tier list time. Now, say this was 2018, 2016, 17, he would be at the very tippity top. But how things are standing now, not just the standings of the driver standings, but is a rocky pathway in F1 at the moment. Things are dicey. 1 week he could be cooking, 1 week he could be rumored to replace Sergio Perez, the next week he could be rumored to be getting dropped entirely, and that's what it's looking like at the moment. And well, it's damage limitations. End it all. You've been better than you've been. You've been worse than Perez. You're not getting into the Red Bull. Just retire. I mean, looking at these last three, Logan Sargent, Bottas, and Zhou Guanyu, they all have a combined point total. Zero. They all have 0 points, and they're all in that stage of their career where they're not wanted by anybody. Logan Sargent gonna get dropped by Williams at the end of the season. Valtteri Bottas gonna get dropped by Sauber. Zhou Guanyu gonna get dropped by Sauber. What's the bloody point of still being in Formula 1? You're gonna get dropped. No. Logan Sargent, you can go to end it all because you've been absolutely dreadful, like you've been in every other season that you've been in Formula 1. You're getting shipped off to IndyCar at the end of the season. Goodbye. Valtteri Bottas, 2019, you cooked. You cooked in 2019. You showed the world that you can actually hang with big dogs. And currently, you can't even hang with Zhou Guanyu. So, you cooked more than whatever his name is, Logan Sargent. But you ain't cooked more than Daniel Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo actually has points on the board. Zhou Guanyu, I think, has been the worst driver of the season. What has he actually done? His highlight of the season has been a crash in Jeddah. That's all I remember, and that's all that he's not even used. Okay, he cried in front of the Chinese crowd. Do you want a gold medal? No, that's it. That's the tier list. If you don't like it, then write me a fax, write me an email to my director of producing, and I'll probably put it in the bin, burn it, and throw it in the bin, and then burn it again. Down in the comments, make your own tier list if you're that bored and you want to do that. Hope you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, watch it down there, and have a safe, fantastic, great day. Don't die, because then you can't watch other videos, and blah. That was frickety, that was actually fast. Anyway, have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. I wish you a safe and fantastic rest of your day. Don't die, and peace.